All right, here we are. Welcome to episode 805 of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. And listen, we're going to be talking about why dreaming belongs in your business. The secret to building a team that wants to stay. And listen, I know that you want to hear all about it. We're excited because our guest is in the virtual studio with us. Jean Tillery will be joining us momentarily, but we're going to just give you a quick intro and then we're going to be right back. Thank you so much for being here and a part of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We are so excited, super excited to have you joining us here today. Listen, I see YouTube is lit up already. Hey, Kim. Hey, Joe. Hey, Deborah. I am telling you what, welcome, bringing you greetings all the way from the capital city of Richmond. But we got to celebrate those of you who listen to us. It could be Apple Podcasts. It could be Amazon Music. It could be Spotify. Thank you. You all are faithfully listening on your podcast platforms. Go ahead and subscribe because we know that you like this content. And certainly those that join us live, we see the hearts coming in already. Go ahead and click those hearts because we want to jump right on into episode 805, where we are talking about why dreaming belongs in your business. Big business, small business, we don't care. All of it applies. And it's the secret to building a team that wants to stay. Small team, big team. I'm telling you what, anyone that is running a business or in a corporation and you're looking at employee morale, you're looking at the wellness of your employees, we're going to talk about why dreaming is one of the things that you need to pay attention to. All right, so go ahead and tag someone. Tell them to come on in, that they're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, and we are live and on the air. And let me tell you a little bit about our guest who's coming up to the mic. She's hanging out in the virtual green room, ready to come up and spill the tea on this topic about dreaming. And so Jean Tillery is with us. She is a certified dream manager. She's a speaker, an author, and the founder of Epic Living with Jean. She helps organizations build stronger workplace cultures by reconnecting employees with purpose, possibility, and personal dreams. Drawing on the proven dream manager process, Jean works with companies that want to improve really your employee engagement. You want to be thinking about and improving your retention and certainly morale by investing in the people behind the job titles. So through keynote presentations, dream storm workshops, and corporate consulting, Jean helps leaders create environments where employees feel valued, motivated, and inspired to grow. Jean is also an author. She's the author of A Dreamer's Travel Journal and the host of the #Epic Stories podcast, where she shares conversations and stories that encourage people to live intentionally and create lives worthy of remembering. So we want you to put your hands together. Coming up live here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Welcome, Jean Tillery. Hey, Jean.
Wow, that was amazing. I think I'm going to have to use that over and over again.
Listen, do that. We are so excited to have you and to jump right on in of this great conversation. Claps coming in from YouTube already. And so I tell you, right? So I want to just jump right on in because you teach organizations, how to reconnect employees with their personal dreams. And so why do you believe dreaming is not just like this nice to have, but a strategic business advantage?
Wow, that's a great question. I think one of the biggest misconceptions in business today is that employees leave because of money. And compensation, yes, is certainly matters, and especially in this day and age where everything is so expensive. But that's not usually all there is to it. A lot of times employees will leave when they stop believing that they have a future in that business, when they stop feeling seen or valued, and really when they're not connected to a purpose beyond just, their day-to-day to-do list at the office. If you figure it out, we spend probably about a third maybe of our lives at work.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
And it's impossible to separate who you are as a person from who you are as an employee. And when someone walks through the door of your business, they have dreams and challenges and responsibilities, things hanging over their head that wait for them outside the office. And when you start to realize that they're a whole person like that, and then start to genuinely invest in the whole person of the employee, things start to change. So employees become more engaged when they know they're valued for more than just what they produce. They become more loyal when they see their employer as a partner, not only in their success as an employee, but as a person. And then not just a paycheck. I mean, the paycheck's important, don't get me wrong. But if you're growing personally, you're going to be bringing that person to work, and you'll be growing professionally just as well. So one of the my favorite quotes from Matthew Kelly, and Matthew Kelly is the man who invented the Stream Manager program.
Yes.
It's done through his consulting company. And one of the things he says is that the best thing that you can do for your organization is to become a better version of yourself. And that is something that I absolutely believe is true. And it's something that I've tried to preach to myself and those that I work with. Because when you become healthier and more confident and more financially secure by pursuing the dreams that you have, some you may have put on hold, some you may not even remember that you ever made, but you start bringing a new energy into your life. And then that you bring that energy into your work. You find your employees communicate better. They are better problem solvers. They're more creative. And then they're better teammates and much stronger leaders. So there's a lot of reasons that it's a good thing to do. And I don't see dreaming as like a perk, even though it is kind of a benefit for companies. I see it really as part of your leadership strategy. You'll spend thousands of dollars investing in technology and new systems and professional development. And don't get me wrong, those are important. They need to be done. But as a business, your greatest competitive edge is and always has been your people. And so the money that you put towards your people is going to be the best investment. And when you invest in them to build a better future for themselves, naturally, they help build a better future for your organization.
Listen, well said. And certainly that is small organizations to large organizations. This is the same really concept. If you're just tuning in, we see you coming on in. We have Jean Tillery here, certified dream manager and founder of Epic Living with Jean. All right. I love that. And that all helps with retention and morale and all of that. And so the dream manager process, which you just gave us a little bit of a glimpse of that, has transformed, workplace cultures across different types of industries. I know you could probably name drop some companies that have employed this kind of dream manager process. So what are some of the biggest shifts you see when companies begin supporting employees' personal dreams?
Now, you mentioned, companies big and small, and that is really, I think, the best benefit about this. You don't have to be a certain size to take advantage of this. The Dream Manager program was designed to actually have an employee in your company as a dream manager. But not all companies can do that. Whether you have an HR department or just someone who helps dreaming part-time, or what we'll see in this conversation that'll come out is sometimes it's just something that you can do on your own. But what you start to see, first off, you'll start to see people show up differently. When you feel like your employer honestly cares about who you are as a person and not just somebody who's filling a position and punching a clock, they are naturally going to become more engaged. You're naturally going to care about your job more. They'll feel seen and valued, and that changes the way they approach their work. Another shift that you see almost immediately is a change in the conversation. That people stop worrying about deadlines and projects and problems, and you start hearing questions like, what's important to you, and what are you working on outside of business, and how can we help you succeed? And those little things may seem simple, but they start to build trust, and they start to build commitment to each other. And trust is the foundation of every healthy workplace. And so I think that's something that is easily forgotten. You deal with your employees, that you just, you're signing the paycheck and that's what you think about. But your employees need to trust who they are and who you are. Another thing that's really cool is you start to see a change in the dynamics between employees. They'll start to encourage each other in ways that they never did. You'll see conversations like you never did. When you start to learn what other people's dreams are, you start to celebrate with them. You share resources. Somebody may want to buy a house and you're like, well, I know the perfect real estate agent.
Right.
So it really opens up the ability to support one another. And the thing that's so great about that is the business no longer feels like just a bunch of coworkers. You actually feel like a community, and you're really a team, and you start working together like a team. Though me personally, I think the biggest shift that you see as you start changing this conversation is perspective. Most employees see work as a place that they go to earn a paycheck.
Right.
You don't really see your employer as someone to help you build a life. And that's what we want to change. If you're partnering with them and making their life better and doing things that grow them, then their reason that they come to work changes. And it's not just the paycheck. And it's funny because you wouldn't expect that. You would think that helping your employees support their personal dreams would distract them from their work. But in reality, what we see over and over and over again is that it gives their work more meaning, and they're more attuned to what they're supposed to be doing and more putting all in all the time when they're there. So the engagement again, if you're an employee and you're growing and you're learning and you're making progress in your own life, then you bring that same energy, that's new creativity and optimism and excitement into everything that you do.
Wow. And I just want to clarify to make sure people are really clear. Like, we're not talking about like interpreting dreams or anything. Like literally, like you mentioned, if somebody has a dream, an aspiration to buy a house or do, these various different things, it could literally just be life things. But I also think that it makes people feel heard, and they get the okay to dream. Like it's almost like a permission slip.
I love that word. That's my favorite word, permission.
Pun intended, permission slip to be able to think and imagine. And somewhere along the lines, I think maybe people forgot that. If you just tuned in, you're here on episode 805 of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're talking about why dreaming belongs in your business. If you own the business or you work for someone in an organization, dreams belong there and dreaming belongs there. It's the secret to building a team that wants to stay. And so, Jean, if someone is listening, and maybe they work for a company, or it's a leader that's listening in saying, I'm kind of struggling with it, either disengaged team members or burnout team members. How can helping the team members, and you talked a little bit about this, how can helping the employees really identify and pursue meaningful dreams actually improve their morale? And then how can they bring you into the workplace to help cultivate that, to help do that with the dream manager process?
To start out big, there's some really simple things that everyone can do starting tomorrow. I think, first of all, we need to understand that, disengagement and burnout isn't always necessarily caused by your employees are just working too hard. Often it's caused because you feel like your hard work that you're doing for your employer isn't going anywhere or it doesn't do anything that matters. You kind of lose sight of your future. And then it's really difficult to want to be excited and energized about helping somebody else build their business if you're not really growing yourself. So that's why I think the dreams matter so much. And everybody has them.
Yeah.
You may have forgotten them, even though I do have people that will look me in the eye and say, I don't have any dreams. And I don't necessarily believe that. I think they may have forgotten it. But it's sad. And your dreams give you something to look forward to. You know, and one of the words I use a lot is hope. I think one of the problems we have in society today is that we have lost hope. Everything is really hard. And so if you don't have anything to look forward to, anything exciting that's going on, it's hard to be motivated and it's hard to keep showing up. So that is just one of the easiest benefits of you know, starting to talk about dreams. And it doesn't have to be a formal thing. Just start conversations. When employees start identifying the goals and dreams that they have that are meaningful for them, whether it's something big, we mentioned buying a house, maybe it's going back to school. A big one I hear a lot, getting out of debt, or whether it's something little, like I just want to take a real family vacation. When you start seeing progress towards your personal dreams in your own life, that momentum doesn't stay at home. That momentum follows you to work. You bring it not only in the job that you actually do, but the way you approach the people that you work with, your customers, everything changes. And, you know, leaders say all the time, they want employees, like you said, that are more motivated, more creative, and more engaged. And the cool thing is that these qualities are the natural byproducts of people who really feel that their future is going to be better.
Yeah.
And another huge change that you'll see and that you can start encouraging is the relationship between the employee and the organization. And I mentioned this a little bit before. Most people show up, or I shouldn't say most people who are starting to disengage show up because they're just here to do their job. That's their mentality.
Yeah.
They're working for a company that generally wants them to succeed. That starts to change. When they feel that you're a part of making their lives better, even if it's something little like just changing the conversations, it's loyalty and it creates trust. And of course, employees that trust their leaders are much more likely to stay.
Yeah.
Even when things are hard, you know, business is hard. And you can depend on your employees, and they're more open to collaborate with other teammates, and they're more open to bring ideas to help the organization grow where they might have just kind of kept their mouth shut and just done their job. So at the end of the day, every leader wants people who brings a new dynamic energy into the room instead of sucking all the energy and life out of it. Then helping people reconnect with their dreams is just a great, effective way to do that.
Great. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how you, as a certified dream manager, can help organizations, big or small, with getting started with this. And I think it would be good to even hear some of the other organizations that have a in-place dream manager or have used this kind of dream manager process. So I'm gonna let you hang out in the virtual green room, and we're gonna be back. Jean will be back with us, and we have a quick commercial break. Thank you for all of those that are coming on in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the places. And this episode is being brought to you by the Platform Builder program. We're open for enrollment for cohort 12, and here's just a little bit about it.
You a high-achieving woman entrepreneur who is ready to ditch being invisible and unpolished, but finally ready to shine a spotlight on your expertise and services? There's a better way to increase the visibility of your personal brand and gain more customers. Let Sharvette Mitchell show you with the Platform Builder program. The Platform Builder program is her signature 12-month group coaching program built for female entrepreneurs and leaders who are ready to position their expertise and services with a polished visual brand, increase visibility with speaking opportunities, build authority with a published book, and convert more customers with content marketing. Not only do you walk away with all of the juicy strategic nuggets in Sharvette's head, but with tangible outcomes that you can see and feel. Find out more and apply at www.platformbuilder.biz.
All right. I just had to throw in a little icebreaker. I just had to throw in a little dance break for you. So jump over to platformbuilder.biz if you are a woman entrepreneur saying, I need support and I need a strategy for my marketing. We'd love to have a conversation with you. All right. Let's bring our guest back to the virtual studio here, bringing Jean Tillery back up here with us, certified dream manager and founder of Epic Living with Jean. And so let's talk about dream storms, because you actually facilitated a dream storm at one of our past conferences, the Platform Builders Summit. Shout out to all of our guests that are here and watching. And so that was really, really great. So when you do the dream storm workshops, you know, they really get people thinking beyond just their job title and just kind of surface things, because it's a challenge just for the number of dreams that you tell us to write down. But what does that look like, you know, for employees to really start thinking of themselves as a whole person that they're bringing into an organization with these dream storms? And tell us what the dream storm is and then the impact.
Okay, well, yes. So a dream storm is basically just kind of a power hour of sitting down and really start working through, what are my dreams? You know, what areas do I really want to grow? What was I created and put on this earth for? And, you know, most people, you mentioned the number of dreams. The clients that I work with, when I work with individual clients, I ask them to make a list of 100 dreams. And they usually are shocked. Their eyes get really big. Because that seems outrageous. But most people can come up with 10 or 12 off the top of their head, you know, health issues, you know, pay off bills, you know, take a trip, some things you see a lot of. But when you start really drawing them out and I start working with you, and we have 12 different areas of dreams. So they're not just travel and adventure, things like legacy. What do you want to leave for your family and for the world? Things like character. I mean, what about yourself would you like to change? So there's a lot of different areas. And I can usually get people to, you know, 40 or 50, 60 fairly easy. Yeah. But you really have to take a step back and look at your life to come up with 100. And some of them are big. In fact, you mentioned the book that I wrote. That book actually stemmed from one of the things on my dream list. When I went through the certification with Floyd, I figured the best way to kick off a new program and to show off being a dream manager is to knock off one of the dreams that had been on my list for years. And that was to drive across country. So some of them are big, but I also have some really small ones. And one of them was I wanted to start writing yearly letters to my kids. I wanted to read 50 books in a year. So they don't necessarily have to be money. They don't have to take time. They don't have to be anything that's really difficult. And what we do in the Dream Storm is just start looking at these 12 areas. And the thing that's so fabulous about it is that when you're in a group setting, you start feeding off of each other. And somebody will talk about something and then you go, man, that's a great idea. I'd like to do that too. I have a talk that I do every year at the beginning of the year that talks about New Year's resolutions and why resolutions are different than dreams. Because resolutions have a tendency, first of all, they come at the worst time of the year. You shouldn't be making life decisions after, you know, the holidays. But a lot of times we get wrapped up in what you see online and what you see on social media. And everybody, you know, says they want this fancy car and this fancy watch and this fancy house. And that may not really be who you are. So these Dreamstorm workshops give you a chance to look at who you are. And again, like I said, what you were created for. Now it's different. It's fun to do them for an organization because employees will walk into a room and they expect your typical boring business workshop. You know, meanwhile, they're sitting there thinking about all the work at their desk that they're not doing, and they're kind of frustrated with being there. And I always shock them a bit when I ask the question, you know, what are your dreams? And like I said, I've had people look at me and say, I don't have any. And then I have other people that say, no one has asked me that question. I haven't thought about that in years.
Wow.
Somewhere along the line, when you're kids, you could imagine anything. You wanted to be president, and you wanted to be an astronaut, and you wanted to fly to the moon, and you wanted to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But somehow when we grow up, we stop dreaming.
I definitely want to capture a couple of these comments that are tying right in here. So Dana Wilson, hey girl, hey, I love this. Jean, in the military, I intentionally tapped into my troops' dreams to keep them focused on the big picture of their lives. Shout out to Joyce over on Instagram. She was like, new energy. What was I created for? Having, the dreams, thinking about having you think, what was I created for? Kim, my sister, I think what makes a dream team stay is a boss who will be there to motivate, someone who is a good leader too. I totally agree. Gwen, good to see you. Such a great system. And it was a great session that she attended, one of the your dream storms. And so great. I just wanted to make sure we capture that they were testifying to that. How can an organization contact you if they want to, this would be great for a team builder, for a leadership retreat.
Yeah. That's a lot of what I do is that where we come in, if you're having some kind of team building experience, or you're having, like a yearly event that you bring everybody in, and it can be something simple as just a 2 or 3 hour session where I introduce the process. It does take a little bit of an introduction because, there is some resistance to this. From a lot of different people. It's not even just, even people that want to dream. Sometimes it's hard to really give yourself the permission. We use that word again, permission to dream, especially for women. We're moms, we're, taking care of a house, we're taking care of our kids. It's hard to take care of ourselves, and we don't ever put ourselves first. And sometimes you get the feeling that if I'm dreaming, if I'm doing something for myself, then that's selfish. But I do have two things about that. One is you deserve it. Absolutely. And you will be a much better person when you start bringing these dreams to life and, getting the same kind of reaction that an employer would get from an employee. You get more engaged in your family. But my biggest thing for parents, and again, especially for women, is that your kids need to see you doing things for yourself. Mm-hmm. You have passions and hopes, and they need to see that it's important enough for you to find the time to do that. So the Dreamstorm is a great way to get started. I also have, and we just started these, this is really exciting, what I'm calling Dream Compass calls. So if you're interested in just learning more about maybe what your dreams are and what this looks like in your life, we can set up a free half-hour call and just kind of delve into what dreaming looks like for you. And I love the fact that you brought up, no, it isn't, your dreams when you sleep, right. But it's just as important, I think, to touch on the dreams that you have when you're awake. And if you're a business, if you'd like to, pull this in and do a dream storm, we can easily do one. You just reach out to me and we'll get it scheduled. It's really simple and easy to do. And it's exciting. And the thing is that as an employer, you walk away with information about your employees that you would not have any other way. And then if there's something that you'd like to really delve into, not everyone is able to hire someone as a dream manager. So I do fill that position sometimes for companies where I can act as your dream manager for your company, whether we do a small cohort and just get it started, or whether you want to just have like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, just come in and do dream sessions. So there's so many different ways that we can incorporate this, no matter what size business you have.
Great. And it's really kind of like a progressive thing. So can you, as a great recap, because I'm just imagining, maybe leaders listening and or business owners who are saying, I want to even do this with, maybe a team of 5 or 6 that they might have. So it starts with a dream storm. And then what is the progression of like this dream manager process program?
Well, the whole process, the traditional framework is a year-long framework. And the thing that's great about it is we don't just talk about your dreams. I mean, that's the foundation of what we're doing. But each month we look at different areas in your life that support those dreams. So we look at finances, we look at your health. We look at your responsibilities. So we actually kind of help build up the life that you need to have to be that dreamer, as well as choosing, a couple dreams that you really want to focus on this year. The reason 100 is so exciting is because we may focus on 4, and that's usually what I do every year. I have a long-term and a short-term, and then a couple, like really easy things to do. And then you work on that throughout the year. And every month when we meet throughout this process, we look at where you are and what you need and where you're going. So there's a lot of accountability. But you'll find at the end of the year, when you go back through and you're getting ready to write your dreams for next year, you have fulfilled some that you never even thought of. I mean, there are ones on your list that you didn't even think of. There's something powerful in the writing down a dream that kind of puts it out in the world. And I'm always amazed at how many dreams I've marked off my list that I didn't even realize until I went back and looked at the end of the year.
Great. All right. So how should they contact you if they're interested in any of the Dream Manager process?
The best way to get a hold of me is through my website, Epic Living with Jean. Also on Facebook, I have just my personal Facebook page, Jean Tillery, or I have an Epic Living with Jean business Facebook page too, and they're great places to reach out and message me. We can schedule a meeting, we can schedule a call, whatever's the easiest for you. And the great thing about this program is we can design it however it fits you the best.
All right. Customization there. Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, the final question we love to ask all of our guests. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And what continues to motivate Jean?
Well, of course, it's my dreams.
Yeah.
I have done things I never would have imagined that I would have ever done. Again, there's something powerful about writing something down. I have put myself in situations like driving across country. I drove across the country all by myself. I've reached out to people. With my podcast, I've interviewed people that I was shocked that, I just walked up to and started talking to them and asked them. So there's some power that you get as you start to grow from finding these dreams.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Jean, so much for stopping by, and we wish you much more continued success.
Oh, thank you so much. This was such a joy, and I appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right, listeners, viewers, I know you are ready to lean into dreams. And so check out Sharvette.com, our main website. We have a whole blog post that has Jean's contact information, all of her bio information. That is a great place to connect. Again, thank you for those that are listening and watching on YouTube. Thank you for all of our podcast listeners. We appreciate you. And certainly consider, if you have an organization or recommend to management or leadership, to say, hey, I think Jean Tillery, I think you all should reach out to her. She's a certified dream manager. I think this would be a great part of our next leadership retreat, conference, symposium, summit, or some type of team engagement there. Thank you so much, Gwen. Said awesome show. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much, Erica. Said, hey, ladies. Hey. We're glad to see you. All right. It's a wrap for the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We appreciate you always being here, and we're going to see you guys later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.